Kendra with Trust TV, and I'm back with another video. I wanted to do this, and this is going to be like a quick video, as quick as I can make it. I was doing a lot of family research, and this is my question, and if any of y'all have any answers, any information, or can help me in this situation, please feel free to put it down below. Now, I was doing genealogical research, y'all, and I've said this in other videos. I'm stuck someplace, and I always needed help with this. Now, of course, I didn't find any Africans in my family history. Doing family genealogy, there's books on our family. I found all of it fictitious lies. I went to the African archives. There's no records of my genealogy. If you're a part of this family of the Godlocks, Knuckles, and Little Johns, there's a historical book where they basically telling you a pack of lies. Somebody like a Oromo Ethiopian looked and said we were Oromo Ethiopian. I have no evidence of us being Oromo Ethiopian. I even spoke with the Oromo Ethiopian archives. Even in Europe, I got information from Europe, and as well as Virginia in America. And there's nothing to corroborate or substantiate that history. Nothing. So, sorry for the family members who wrote that book, but all your information is false, and it actually is not substantiated anywhere. There is no genealogical records to support you being from Africa. None. Okay, and so in this book also, what we do have is we have family members of Scottish descent. That's all we have. We have names. And now, before they be like, oh, well, black Europeans own black slave. That's a lie. We already debunked that whole slavery thing. And as a matter of fact, that would be an even bigger lie, because where have you ever heard of in history of a Scottish man owning a black slave? Let me tell you why. Because allegedly Scottish people were slaves. So I've never heard any history of Scottish people owning slaves. I only heard of history of Scottish people being slaves. And as a matter of fact, I did my due diligence in Virginia doing genealogical research. I found out, and I spoke to this white historian who let me know. He said, well, Scottish people did not have money, to his knowledge is what he's saying, because again, whites are claiming to be Scottish. He goes, Scottish people didn't have money. It takes money to have a slave. You got to buy them. He said Scots did not have any money, so they would not have been able to even afford a slave to buy. They themselves were slaves. Exactly. So with that being said, either you're going to have to find out or find some Scottish slave owners that own and show us how that's my family, or those Scottish people that came into America were black, right? Because again, are brown-skinned folk. Because again, Scottish people were also sent to the Caribbean island. I don't know no white people that's in the Caribbean island naturally. And at those times in the 1700s, don't know any, right? Because we already know that the Spanish and the Portuguese were brown-skinned folk. And we also know by the book of Benjamin Franklin, his observation concerning mankind, he let you know Europe was a black and swarthy people. In America, exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so. So with that being said, that would mean that Scots were black, as you see me right here showing these crests, these family crests, family emblems, right, of these black Europeans, right? And so with me now knowing and having the knowledge that I do have, reading the books that I did read, the problem that I'm having is locating. I have all the stories, and all my family got the same names, same great-great-grandparents, same uncle, same aunt, same everything as this Scottish white family. Doppelganger, literally cut and paste, verbatim. all the way down into my grandparents. Everybody, same name, from Elizabeth Ann, from Oliver, from Marcellus, from Silas. We even got some of our, like my mother's uncle name was Silas. Heman. We have a lot of these names that are being Gazier, you know what I mean? That they're passed down into our family bloodline from previous family members. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. That align up. Samuel was one of the names in my family bloodline. That there's a lot of Samuels in our family. Samuel Knuckles, there's a Samuel Littlejohn. The Knuckles, Littlejohns, and Godlocks all intermarry with each other, right? So yes, there was some incest, right? They did intermarry within each other. The Godlocks, the Knuckles, and the Littlejohns, okay? And some Lipcombs, and some Lipcombs, there's another last name, Dawkins, right? Is in our family. And it's the same as the so-called white people. Now, we know white people were stealing black people's stuff. Yes, they have stolen our family's names, heritage, everything. So I don't know if anybody would have any information on what you could do if you went into your family genealogical record and you have not found any Africans, and you also haven't found any American Indians. Now, I know that, you know, the English, the Europeans intermarried into some American Indian tribes. But at the same time, when I do my family history, when I do the genealogy, I only find Scottish immigrants. I do not find American Indians, and I definitely never found any African. So if anybody knows, how do I move forward with genealogical research, it would be a blessing if you had any more information on how to go about finding out. Because a lot of these Scottish people are now portrayed as white. So I'm stuck because I'm not white. My grandparents aren't white. Nobody's white. Nobody's Slavic. So now what do I do? So anyway, I had to try to do this video really quickly, y'all, to just see if I can get some insight on how would you go about this. Because like I said, I have not found, I didn't find any Africans in my genealogical research, and I haven't found any American Indian in my family history. I have only found Scottish immigrants in my family history. So if you have any information, please feel free to comment down below. Leave something in the comment section. Anyway, this is Kendra with Trust TV, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe, y'all. Stay up, stay blessed. Put God first above all else. Peace out. Bye for now.